Hello, and welcome to a new kind of video. This time we are playing Mini RTS on Roblox, and honestly, this is one of my favorite games to play. It is a really great strategy game, and your goal is to take over land. Now I am going to just queue in immediately, and we'll see how the game is. Now I do already know how to play the game, but basically, this is the gist of it. Basic controls aren't super important, but you do have to attack and defend. Now, of course, I do want to make an alliance, which I think we should go with the nearest person to us, which would be purple. And I think our goal is going to be oh well, we should probably be on the defense because these two are allied, and it will not be great for us if they end up gaining control of lots of things. And we're pretty much going to be relying on purple this whole match as, well, we really cannot 1v2 them. And those are our first two farms down, and I think what we're going to do is play this very aggressively. I would like to immediately build a training camp so that I can get soldiers and immediately knock out this farm and this farm. And possibly even this farm over here. And then later over there too. But it will cause them to be aggressive and it can completely backfire. So we have to do it very, very fast. So before I even build the training camp, I am going to save up a bunch of money. So that I can just have a bunch of soldiers to begin with. There we go, we knocked out their first farm, and now we really have to be on the defense, because we did get a lot of money from that and wasted a lot of their money. But they're really going to come after us, so I do think I am going to ask my teammate to send troops. Now we really just have to sit on the defense and get a few more troops, but other than that, there's not a ton we can do. We can, though, actually knock out this also, and probably also that training camp, if we're quick enough. I would like to check on my teammate, and it seems like they're actually doing pretty alright. Now I'm going to also expand over here and build some oil rigs, or oil pumps over here. Now we are going to have to build some houses because we need more space for soldiers and builders. So that is going to be a priority, and as we can see, they're already doing it, so we're a little behind actually. Now that turret plan didn't really work, but what should work is a few rocketers. And that should actually wipe out a lot of their army. It seems like they're retreating, so I'm gonna just try again. Now it seems like yellow is also getting ready to attack. Which is both a good thing and a bad thing, because if they really do too good, we are going to be able to wipe them out, I think. And it seems like they've actually disconnected, so if we do one bit of damage to their tower, we can actually get their houses, which is going to be a huge benefit to us. Now they're making a bad choice, which is building houses over here, which if we choose, we can absolutely cripple that, and they're not going to be able to have as many troops as us, especially if we really do end up getting this core. Over here again, they're still choosing to build houses on this side and not over by their core. Additionally, their core is not being defended, which is a pretty easy opening if we want. Especially if we do coordinate with our alliance. There we go, we are at an immediate advantage now as we can build a ton more houses, which gives us a ton more units. Now we're actually at a problem where we just don't have enough money, which I think we're just gonna have to figure that out. And again, this dude is trying to take our stuff and destroy it, so I think we will just send some troops in. And this is pretty much an automatic loss for him because we have turrets and we're on the defense. Additionally, he's letting us get this house, which, once again, we have more houses, which puts us at an automatic advantage. I am seeing he is putting missile defenses over here, which is a very good idea, and one that I am going to actually copy. And again, this is where we have an advantage. Just because of how many houses we have, we're at an automatic advantage where we can do both sea fighting and land fighting. So, I'm going to start getting rid of yellow's items. And again, right here, this I think is an oversight. And also, I think purple's doing something because they are trying to fight. And they are also withdrawing their units. So, purple, I guess, is doing something pretty important, which makes me actually kind of want to send some backup to help. And as we can see, yeah, purple is putting some pressure on, which I think this is my chance to do the same thing. I'm, of course, going to get a submarine and a builder boat. I think we can get a few more missile trucks, and I think we can just start wearing out their defense. I am also, just because purple is taking the port, I am also gonna just put my builder boat over here and take this one. And I'll just make a speedboat and send some builders to this island. I'm also gonna reclaim these options to make money on land. And I think we're now at an advantage again. And now we can see we are getting a little bit of chip damage onto his base over here, which is going to be pretty huge for us. And as we can see, yellow is crumbling especially, which again is huge. And I have over here sent some tanks to help out purple, as I don't want to leave him alone. But I am also seeing that there's a tank here, which isn't too great for us. And that was a lot of rocketers, which I think purple might actually fall now. But I am going to try my best to make some tanks and send them right on over. In fact, what I think I will do is send a builder boat so I can get some infrastructure over here too. I do think purple should be able to tough it out though, especially if they get builders and start repairing their core. But until then, it's not looking too great for purple. And I do want to see if there are any more areas we can get for oil rigs in the water, but it doesn't seem so. Once again, I am going to go over here and take out their stuff, and yellow did realize what was happening to them, and they did correct for it, which was smart, but it isn't going to do too much for them in the long term. Well, they got defeated, which isn't too great for me, and that also gives them more ability to get stuff, which, again, not great for me. But I do think, now that I have just so much money, I think it's comeback season for us. And they're 100% going to ambush from both sides, which is not going to be great. So I'm just going to get a ton of tanks and a ton of Humvees. And as we can see, they are doing exactly that. Which kind of makes me just want to put a counter push, because they really cannot do a thing. So now I'm just going to make some Humvees, and then I'm going to build another factory. Now I'm going to build a barge, and we're going to go right after them. Now they are trying to take my buildings and my income, so we do have to stop that as soon as we can, so I'll just send a tank right over. Now I did also just realize my missile defenses are not in the correct spot. This is actually looking pretty bad, but it should be okay, I think. Now we should be good, but I do want to build quite a few more. Now this wasn't too smart of him to send these troops in, but hey, it's his choice, I guess. Now I am going to load up my barge and try and destroy everything they've got. And again, they're still not smartening up and adding defenses, which is going to allow me to roll on over them. So, here we go. Oh no, now they finally are, which I think it might even be a little too late for that. So I am going to also try to land on the beach and get a turret down, just so we don't get obliterated as soon as we get there. And again, I am going to keep on making tanks and Humvees. Now, if we get a few more hits, well, never mind. But that was actually a really good effort, but now they're going to know to defend. With that said, though, green just sent everything they had over there, and green themselves isn't looking too good for defenses. So, I'm just going to try the same thing, but with green. Now, that did also get rid of pretty much everything they had. So, again, an advantage for us. Green, though, is realizing what's going on, so we do have to be a little more careful. But I think I'm just going to commit to it. And while that's happening, also just build more defenses. Now, these rocketers aren't gonna be too great for us, so I am going to send out in chunks. Actually, what I think I'll do is I'll send one Humvee and then the rest will follow by, so that they will have to reload. And there we go, that is this whole platoon, or whatever you want to call it, wiped out. Now, they are trying to make a counter push, and it is probably going to end me, but we can still try to defend it. Honestly, I'm just going to send the builders to the core to try and repair it, but I think that's... Why are my builders going to the core? Go repair the core. Yeah, we lost. It's alright though, that was a pretty good run, and I think we can just try again a few other times in the future. What I do love to do though, is check out the stats, because you see how much money you had compared to other people, and how much damage you were able to do with sometimes less money. And it seems like we actually did pretty good. Now, while we did have the most money, we by far had the most damage. And this might even actually be one of the best ratios for money to damage. We also had a ton of kills, the most. So I think that was a pretty successful run. And if my teammate was a little better and they knew how to play the game, I think we really could have won that. Additionally, at the start we were in a pretty bad position as our teammate was super far and we had 2 teams against us, and we were able to squash them out, partially with the help of yellow. All in all, I think that was a great run. Anyways, that's the end of this video, and I really want to thank you for watching through the whole thing. It really means a lot. In the meantime, if you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them down below, and have yourself a great day.